Hello everyone, my name is Betini Akarandut and I'm currently working as a backend developer at Giant Momentum. I've been working remotely for a few years now and today I'm excited to share some of insight on mastering remote work and whether you are new working remotely or you have been doing it for a while. I hope you'll find these tips helpful. And no, I'm not alone here. With me is my colleague, Mr. Fidel. I'll give him the chance to introduce himself officially onto you. Oh, over to you, Mr. Fidel.
Hi, everyone. Welcome wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Lunch and Learn by Join Momentum. My name is Fidel Nwaefulu. I am a product marketing and digital transformation professional with 7 years experience in e-commerce and fintech. And during that time, I've worked about 4 years remotely in organizations both in Nigeria and in the UK. I even published a free ebook titled Mastering Remote Work. Interestingly, it's available on my LinkedIn page, so you can pop in there and have a look. It's absolutely free. Thank you so much, Betty.
Yeah, that's well.
Yeah.
All right. Before we dive into today's real concern, we would like to talk more about remote work, how remote work came about, and what were the things that we put in place, what we need to know before we actually delve into details of today's meeting. So I will hand over the floor to my colleague to speak more about the remote work, how it came into space, how it came to existence. Over to you, Mr. Fidel.
All right. Thank you very much. Remote work, simply put, is a flexible work arrangement that allows employees to work from home or another location instead of an office. Simply put. All right. So if you have to, work from home or you work from a hub or somewhere that is not an office where you have your other colleagues around, then that's a remote work. Now, a lot of people think that remote work started because of COVID-19, but that's not accurate.
Yeah, exactly.
It had always existed before the pandemic,
Yeah,
but it was not as rampant. It was not as popular. In fact, a lot of people frowned at it. All right. So what the pandemic did was it accelerated the global shift to remote work. Before the pandemic, only 5% of the US workforce worked remotely full time. Only 5%. But guess how many percent it became by May 2020? It shot from 5% to 60%. So 60%, because of the pandemic, of the workforce in the US began to work remotely. And interestingly, even after the pandemic, remote work has remained popular. I looked through the survey and I saw that 25% of the jobs in North America, 25% of the jobs in North America are actually remote. As at 2023, as at November 2023, 25% of the jobs, they actually, publish those jobs and they indicate there that this is a remote role, and a significant percentage of, the workforce in the world actually prefer to stay remote or work in a hybrid kind of thing where they
Something.
can work some days at home and then they can work, some days in the week at the office.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Fidel is very right in what he has said so far, because if not that be advanced in technology settings, I wouldn't have gotten the information
Mm.
that remote work did not actually start because of COVID-19. So myself, back then when I was still a starter, I used to think about remote work as that which came up as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, but it's not. Remote work has been ever since. Even when we are actually working in office setting, you find yourself chatting with your colleague in the over the chat, the WhatsApp, and any social media platform you are utilizing to pass a message across. So long as you are chatting official and then it's related to work you are doing, I believe you're actually working remotely, because it may not necessarily mean you should be in the office physically for your colleague to communicate with you. So
Yeah,
to add to what Mr. Fidel said, so remote work actually, COVID-19 rather actually accelerated, working remotely.
yeah,
And also through technological advancement, remote work, was also made, really possible, even as it is now. So
yeah.
as more equipment or more tools are being, brought into the market, remote work tend to, come in place. And very soon enough, we cannot tell what the next, the future will hold for remote work
In-
setting. Yeah, we like
interesting,
it or not. Yeah.
interestingly,
So,
interestingly,
yeah, that is it really. So,
interestingly, a lot of multinational firms in the world, top firms, I'm talking Shopify, Slack,
yeah.
Dropbox, even Deloitte, Apple, for example. Let me tell you an interesting story about Apple. So in June 2021,
Oh,
after the pandemic, Tim Cook, the CEO, in an email asked employees of Apple to come back to work, right, for 3 days
yeah,
a
I can remember
week.
the story. Yeah, you're
Yes,
right.
but the employees refused, and they sent him an open letter saying that they were not going to come back, and they wanted him to reconsider. Now, Apple refused, right, initially in the
Yeah,
public, but they had to go to
yeah,
the drawing board and develop a plan, and that took them another 1 year because it wasn't until early 2022 that they now finally announced that people could come into the office 2 days a week. And then in 2023 they now finally announced that, oh, they were relaxing COVID-19 policy to encourage their workers. Now, see what they said: to encourage their workers. They were no longer compelling them or forcing them. They were now trying to persuade them, plead with them to come back into the office. So remote work has come to stay. No matter
yeah.
what anybody says, it has come to stay because, and we will
Despite
discuss
negative.
some of the yes, some of the benefits is productivity, increased
Yes,
productivity, right?
yes,
And nobody
yes.
likes stress because going to the to like an office means you have to commute. And no matter how good the transportation thing in your country is, it's still time that you will spend, and you might it still takes something from you. So a lot of people will
Exactly.
rather just work from home and save that commute time and be productive with it if they are being sincere, Sha, because we are going to
Yeah,
also speak about some of the
yeah,
cons of
definitely,
remote
definitely.
work. Some people are not sincere.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Fidel. I greatly appreciate that input from you.
You're
And
welcome.
that shows your level of expertise, at least as a remote worker.
Oh my God.
That's cool. That's cool. All right.
Yes.
Audience, let's move over to our next line of action. That will be discussing the benefits of remote work. Inside the benefits, we'll also be discussing, the shortcomings of remote work. No scenario is too perfect. So
Yeah, the pros
whether
and the
it's
cons.
good,
Yeah.
it also has its own shortcoming. So we'll be talking about the benefits remote work is offering us. So I would like Mr. Fidel to go again to tell us what are the some benefits that we are seeing in remote work.
All right. it's how I'm going. I'm going. Okay. So the first one is studies have actually shown. All right. I was looking at a survey that was done in 2023 by a company called Gallup. GALLUP. You can actually check it out. And
Yeah,
that survey showed that remote work actually boosts productivity by 13%.
yeah,
Now, this is attributed to things like fewer distractions, no commuting, which is the one I love the most. Because
yeah,
if you've lived in Nigeria like me, you know that
yeah,
commuting can be very stressful.
Low key.
no commuting, and then flexible schedules. So what this
Yeah.
does is, people work more hours because the time they would have used to go to work, say you spend 1 hour or 2 hours going to work, even if it's 30 minutes going to work and spend another 30 minutes coming back, you can't work in that time frame. Or ideally, most people don't work. Some people are able to, maybe on the bus, on the train, they are still doing work. But ideally, most people can't work. But when
Yeah.
it's remote, all that time you would have used to travel, you are using it to work.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's not even forget the fact that there are people who have to rest from the commute. So when they get back home, they still have to rest. But when you eliminate all of those things, you can put all that time to work. Now that's one. Number two, it's not just employees that it favors, because a lot of people think that, oh, remote work is only for the employees, and some people on the CEOs and people who own a business, they feel like, oh, we are being shortchanged, because you know how, some people think if we can't see you, we can't see the work that you are doing, then it's a problem. But that's not true, right? You just need to employ people that are professionals and also
Yeah.
put measures in place that can help you track this. And there are a lot of them available now because, as I said, the world has transitioned into remote work. So there are a lot of things that aid, productivity and being able to measure how productive a person is, regardless of where they are. Now, like I was saying, point number two, it's not just employees that it favors, it also favors the businesses, because businesses can now save a lot of money by reducing, costs that they would have spent on office space, utilities, power, water, coffee, even heating all of these things that you do in the
Yeah.
office, and other in-office costs.
That
Businesses
seems
can
a lot
save
of cost.
exactly save a lot of money by doing that, and then channel that into other things that will actually have a direct impact on the business. All right, so that's
Applaud,
one.
applaud, applaud.
That's one advantage. That's not all. The companies also can benefit from this, from the point of view of them being able to hire from a global talent pool. If, as
Yeah.
a company, your employees can work remotely and there's a structure around this, you are no longer limited to people who are in the city where you are. You can now employ people in other parts of the world who are just
Yeah.
as good or even
Yeah.
better than what is locally available to you.
You
All
know,
right.
one thing, yeah,
Yes.
it just made mention of bringing people from other parts of the world together.
Yes.
That is very necessary in a company setting. When you don't know about people living in other parts of the world, you tend to not to know what is going on around them and what your product should actually take into consideration. So through this
True.
remote work, actually, you get to include those that are other parts of the world, and your
Absolutely.
product gets better because
Absolutely.
it makes the people accept your product because their minds are being interpreted through your product in the market. So remote work, in fact, is one of those kind of work opportunities that I find very useful nowadays because it does not really take much from you. It has. So the only thing you need to do in remote work is just to maintain the discipline and keep going. So
Absolutely.
you said
Absolutely.
is
One more thing I was going to say is, we've spoken about the employees, we've spoken about the
yeah,
employers. There's one more thing I want us to factor in, and that is the planet, our environment. For people like me who
exactly,
are very
exactly.
big on environment and sustainability, right?
Yeah,
Remote work is also good for our planet because it reduces the carbon footprint, right? For
yes,
instance,
exactly.
telecommuting reduces greenhouse gas emissions
Yeah.
by 54 million tons annually in the US alone, and
Wow.
almost half of that in the UK.
Yo, wow.
So gas emissions, right, are reduced when people work remotely, and I think that's something that we
Yeah.
must consider, because it's important that we take care
Yes,
of our
pollution,
planet.
pollution. Exactly.
Exactly, and it's very important that we take care of our environment, because we've only got one. We've only got one.
Yeah.
I
Thank you
think it's
very
time
much.
for us to actually go on a very short break. And when we come back, we'll discuss the cons, because it's not all good with
Yeah,
remote work. There are some things
exactly.
that are not, that are not bad. So we'll see you guys after the break.
See you guys.
Welcome to Join Momentum, where we're not just a company, but a community of digital innovators. At Join Momentum, our mission is simple yet powerful: to accelerate digital talents and business productivity through practical work experiences, trainee internships, and talent placement. We believe in the transformative power of hands-on experience and mentorship, so all our associates learn by doing, not just theories. Through these efforts, we build innovative products and solutions that address user needs and create value for our candidates, clients, and stakeholders. You can partner with us in our mission to accelerate digital talents and increase business productivity by working with us, hiring our talents, or investing in us. This is Join Momentum.
Tired of learning job skills from textbooks? Meet Job Simulator AI. We've built the first AI platform that lets you practice real jobs in a safe, virtual environment. It's like a flight simulator, but for careers. Practice real jobs, get real proof, build a portfolio of completed simulations, earn performance badges inspired by industry leaders, showcase verified skills to employers, get instant AI feedback on your progress. For educational institutions, be among the first schools and universities to give your students practical job experience before graduation. Limited early access spots available. For businesses, sponsor industry-specific simulations to showcase your brand. Build a pipeline of practice-ready talent. Connect with candidates who excel in your simulations. Transform employee training and reduce onboarding time. For training providers, add hands-on practice to your existing courses. Differentiate your offering with AI-powered simulations. Give learners verifiable proof of practical skills. Scale your training impact globally. For students and job seekers, stop wondering if you're ready for that dream job. Start practicing it today. Join our early access waitlist. Ready to revolutionize job training? Sign up for early access at www.jobsimulator.ai. The future of work is hands-on. Don't just learn it, leave it.
Join Momentum Learning and Development Squad have rolled out practical work experience simulation programs and scenario-based learning on a new platform called the Growth Academy.
At the Growth Academy, you will engage in real-world simulations and complete scenario-based tasks at your own pace, which are all inspired by global brands.
With consistent practice and support, our participants gain invaluable experiences across multiple disciplines such as product management, data science, project planning, business analysis, virtual assistant, business development, technical sales, cybersecurity, and many more.
The Growth Academy programs come with AI-powered evaluations. You will receive detailed feedback assessment directly to your inbox, guiding your skill development and areas of improvement. You can also showcase your new skills expertise by ordering digital certificates, which are perfect for demonstrating your competency to employers or clients.
You will also become part of a dynamic community of professionals, sharing knowledge and supporting each other on the path to success. And we empower you to step up as a leader, coach, by reselling any of our programs as your own and earn instant income while helping others grow in their careers.
Start your journey today at www.thegrowthacademy.co.uk.
right, guys, welcome back from the break. We are benefits of remote work. So we'll be looking at some shortcomings of remote work. And I would like to tell us that, yes, though remote work is actually good, but it has its own, pitfalls. And one of those things you find in remote work settings nowadays is face-to-face interaction. Though that is, one of these common problem we find in remote work, face-to-face interaction. And we see that your colleague in the office don't actually get to see you, in person. They only interact with you virtually, and this can reduce, your kind of relationship with them, because it does not allow you to feel what your colleague feels at that moment, or you cannot even tell when your colleague, expression just went bad all of a sudden. No, and you cannot really tell what mood is my colleague. Is it right for me to put a discussion before him or her? What can I do in order to bring him back or her back to normalcy? So this is one thing that remote work has come. Remote work is actually lacking face-to-face interaction outside virtual meetings. So it's also difficult to draw a clear line between your personal life and also overwork or burnouts. Finally, remote work requires a high level of self-discipline. So, like me now, I've been working remotely. Ever since I came into the tech space, I've been working remotely, and throughout my remote work experience, the one thing I find difficult most is discipline. Yes, discipline might sound really, as little as it may sound, but it's a vital thing in remote work. You may set yourself a task that this is what I want to do, but you find yourself, at the end of the day, or at the end of the hour you set for yourself, not able to accomplish the tasks you set for yourself. So it's highly, it's self-discipline. So if you're not self-disciplined, you cannot. In fact, remote work will be very difficult for such a person. So my colleague also speak more about it. So Mr. Fidel, do you have something to add to that? All right.
Yes, you've spoken amazingly well, like very apt, everything that you said, very, very spot on.
Thank you.
The boundaries are very important. That's one thing I feel like we need to emphasize. You touched on it, but I need to speak on it because when you work at home, sometimes it's hard to now divide work and personal life. So some people work till 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m.
Exactly.
I mean, you are just at home, so you might as well just work. And that also accounts for the increase in productivity. So one has to be very careful to draw that line. I think the last thing I want to say is, without a structured office environment, like you also said, self-discipline, time management can be challenging. All right.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's not without a remedy because I think maybe because I'm a remote work advocate, I champion remote work. Every time
Wow.
I think of a solution immediately, right? So
Wow.
tools like Trello, right? Google Calendar, and a host of other tools. And this is one of the reasons why I love Join Momentum.
Moment.
We have
Yeah.
tools that have been put in place, Microsoft Office tools that are very effective and can be used to ensure that everything is trackable and your work
Exactly.
is right. And so
Yeah.
tools like this can help you stay organized and focused because it's very easy for you to just have a bunch of things everywhere. You join a meeting, you join another meeting, there's a stand-up meeting, and there's a team one, and maybe you have a personal one. All of these things can be very distracting sometimes, but having the right tools in place and also you being a disciplined person yourself and just improving yourself in the area of time management will help a great deal.
Thank you, Mr. Fidel. You've spoken much, and that is it. All right, guys. Let's talk about the future of remote work. What do you think remote work actually become in the next couple of years? So, thank God we have our expert, Mr. Fidel. He's been in the remote work for years. And so we are not scared to discuss the future of it. Actually, I love remote work because all throughout my career, I've been a remote worker, and itself is a testimony of remote work. So, Mr. Fidel, what do you think will be the future of remote work in a couple of years?
Okay, so I think that there are a lot of lives that have been changed because of the opportunity that remote work has brought, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that have had opportunities that they would not have had otherwise.
Yeah.
So I think that the future is here already. All right. hybrid working, the hybrid work model will be the future, or I should say, is the future, where there is a healthy balance, a mix, right? A very healthy mix of both in person work and remote work.
Yeah.
Person work and I say this because I have a couple of friends, and that's the reason why I started by saying the opportunities that have been made available. I have a couple of friends who got jobs with companies in the US from Nigeria here. They
Yeah.
worked remotely for 3 months, 4 months, and then
Wow.
they traveled to the US for team bonding. Yeah, that's
That's
what I was
nice.
saying. Yeah, as a Nigerian, you know what you know what that means, right? So
Yeah.
I think it is the future. It is the future is hybrid work, a healthy mix of remote working and in person, because human interaction is still very important. Let's not forget that businesses are not just businesses. Businesses are people. They are people that run the
Yeah.
businesses, and so
You're talking
human
about it.
interaction is a fundamental need of every human, and so we will still need to see one another.
Okay. Personally, I feel remote work is on the increase every day because, yeah, if you want to look at it, with innovations like virtual reality potentially offering new ways to collaborate, it brings additional level of remote work setting into the organization, into any organization. Additionally, as more companies recognize the benefits of remote work, we may see a shift in workplace culture that values outcome more than physical presence. Yes,
Physical
and
presence.
it could also lead to a flexible, employee-centered work environment. So remote work actually is on the increase, and we hope to see more of it in the couple of years to come.
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
let's move over to the tips for success in digital workspace. So we'll be discussing the tips in the digital work setting. So let's talk about embracing flexibility. And when you say one thing about in remote work is flexibility, and then also with flexibility comes, your ability to maintain discipline. Because if you enjoy the flexibility and you're not able to maintain discipline, you find out that you are lagging. Because if you're not disciplined, you cannot actually, fulfill the tasks that are assigned to you.
Mm,
Why I use
yeah.
tasks is because if you're in a company setting, just like in Join Momentum here, and maybe you're coming as an intern, you get to be assigned a task. A task will be assigned to you. And so if you just enjoy the flexibility that the organization offers because it's basically remote, and you forgot to keep yourself disciplined, you will not actually get it. At the end of it all, you may not achieve, the purpose for which you were, you came into the organization. So with flexibility comes, maintaining discipline alongside with it. So that is one of those things we see in remote work setting, and the one tip that you must put in place in order to be able to succeed in a digital workspace. So my colleague will speak more on it. Mr. Fidel, what do you have to say about this?
All right. So yes, what you said is absolutely true. I think some best practices to ensure that you have success with remote work, and I'm going to speak from my own personal point of view, some of the things I've done over the years that I find very helpful. Number one is I have a dedicated workspace,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Remote work does not mean anyhow work.
yeah,
I'll say that again. Remote work is not anyhow work. I have a
yeah,
dedicated workspace, right? That's a distraction free workspace at home to ensure that I maintain productivity, and also ensures that I separate work from my personal life. So when I'm seated on that desk, I know that I'm working. I don't even eat there except on rare occasions, very rare occasions. Maybe I'm very
yes,
busy and I quickly eat something, right? So that's how much it is a dedicated workspace. Some if there are some of my friends that come to my house and they say, you've gone to your shrine. They call it my shrine because they know that once I'm inside there, I'm with my automopo. Sorry to those people who are not Nigerians. My automopo is my computer, right? So that's one. Then number two, establish a routine, right? That's my second point. I like to have a regular work schedule to ensure that I maintain discipline and work-life balance. So I start work sometimes 8 a.m., sometimes 9 a.m., depending on how the morning goes. But it cannot be more than 9. Except that's on rare occasions, right? 8 9, I start to work. If I have tasks, I finish my tasks as much as possible. I take a break at 1, I take another break at 4, and then I wrap up work typically by 8 p.m. Typically,
Yes,
right? By 8 p.m. Right. So
exactly.
that's how I work. Another thing I also want to say is from experience, I have realized that when you are working remotely, there's one thing you must hold in your left hand as you are doing all your work with your right hand. In your left hand, hold the fact that you need to prioritize communication,
Yeah,
because there is a tendency for you to appear as though you're not doing anything if you don't communicate and create visibility for your work. It's very important. Prioritize communication, use video calls, use Slack, drop messages, join the team, the team, all the meetings. Keep, your superior officers, the people that you're supposed to be
yeah.
reporting
Staying
to,
visible and proactive.
keep them informed, ensure everybody is aligned, so that they are
Yeah.
not assuming, so that they are not like, okay, what is he doing? We've not heard from him, no email, no text message, you've not said anything, and you are working remote. You just assume that you are slipping away and collecting their money at the end of the month. All right. So in your left hand, prioritize communication, create visibility for your work, send emails, copy all the appropriate people so they can see you working. It is important. It's not eye
Exactly.
service, it is creating visibility. It is
Great.
very important. All right. And I think the last thing I want to say is you must constantly learn, develop yourself, invest in training so you can upskill, right? There are a lot of tools and best practices that you need to learn, one of which is AI. I know there's a lot of conversation around it, but I think everybody should start to leverage AI. Learn prompt engineering, learn how to use AI for some of the tasks that you do. It is very important. People say things like AI will take jobs. I don't think AI will take jobs. I think
No,
people
it
who
will.
know how to use AI will take the jobs of people who don't know how to use AI. I'll say that again.
Yeah.
I don't think AI will
Yes.
take jobs. I think people who know how to use AI will take the jobs of people who do not know how to use AI. All right. So I
Yeah.
think these are some of the things that I can share that, from my own experience, has helped me tremendously.
Thank you, Mr. Fidel. You rightly put it. And one other thing, two other things I want to add to what Mr. Fidel said. And to crown it all, I will also say you should stay visible, just like you said. Be proactive in your remote work environment. It's easy to feel like you are out of sight, out of mind. To counter this effect, make an effort to stay visible and proactive. Yes, regularly update your team on your progress. Yes, that is your work progress. Share your ideas, just like my colleague has said during meetings. Volunteer for new projects or responsibilities. Just being proactive not only helps you, stay engaged, but also ensures that your contributions are recognized by your team and management. Okay, the last thing I want to say concerning this tip is prioritize your health and well-being. It's a common thing, among remote workers. We tend to overwork and then get burnt out and forget about our health. Our health. No, health is priority. If we prioritize our health, with good health, we can actually achieve anything. So it's easy to neglect your physical and mental health while
Health is
working from
wealth.
home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, take care of it and also be well, be well prepared to make sure that your remote work is flexible and also easy to access by you. Thank you very much. Okay, before we summarize, let's look at the few things we have spoken about during our discussions. So to recap, we discussed the basics of remote work, including its benefits and challenges. We also looked at the future of remote and shared some practical tips for succeeding in digital workspace. Remember, the key to mastering remote work is finding the right balance that works for you, staying connected with your team, and continuously seeking ways to improve your skills. So I hope you found these insights helpful, and I encourage you to apply these tips to your own remote work situation. All right. So with that, we'll come to the end of this podcast, and I'll allow my colleague to, say more about this before we finally wrap it up. Thank you very much.
All right. There's really not much to say except just a very big thank you to everyone who has joined. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to be here. We hope you learned a lot, or at least, you learned something. And we hope that, some of these things that we've said, you found very, very useful. Till we meet again, thank you and have an amazing, amazing day.
All right. Thank you, guys. See you some other time.
Bye.
Next episode on Join Momentum Launch and Learn Podcast.
Welcome to Join Momentum, where we're not just a company, but a community of digital innovators. At Join Momentum, our mission is simple yet powerful: to accelerate digital talents and business productivity through practical work experiences, trainee internships, and talent placement. We believe in the transformative power of hands-on experience and mentorship, so all our associates learn by doing, not just theories. Through these efforts, we build innovative products and solutions that address user needs and create value for our candidates, clients, and stakeholders. You can partner with us in our mission to accelerate digital talents and increase business productivity by working with us, hiring our talents, or investing in us. This is Join Momentum.
Tired of learning job skills from textbooks? Meet Job Simulator AI. We've built the first AI platform that lets you practice real jobs in a safe, virtual environment. It's like a flight simulator, but for careers. Practice real jobs, get real proof, build a portfolio of completed simulations, earn performance badges inspired by industry leaders, showcase verified skills to employers, get instant AI feedback on your progress. For educational institutions, be among the first schools and universities to give your students practical job experience before graduation. Limited early access spots available. For businesses, sponsor industry-specific simulations to showcase your brand, build a pipeline of practice-ready talent, connect with candidates who excel in your simulations, transform employee training and reduce onboarding time. For training providers, add hands-on practice to your existing courses, differentiate your offering with AI-powered simulations, give learners verifiable proof of practical skills, scale your training impact globally. For students and job seekers, stop wondering if you're ready for that dream job. Start practicing it today. Join our early access waitlist. Ready to revolutionize job training? Sign up for early access at www.jobsimulator.ai. The future of work is hands-on. Don't just learn it, leave it.
Join Momentum Learning and Development Squad have rolled out practical work experience simulation programs and scenario-based learning on a new platform called the Growth Academy.
At the Growth Academy, you will engage in real-world simulations and complete scenario-based tasks at your own pace, which are all inspired by global brands.
With consistent practice and support, our participants gain invaluable experiences across multiple disciplines such as product management, data science, project planning, business analysis, virtual assistant, business development, technical sales, cybersecurity, and many more.
The Growth Academy programs come with AI-powered evaluations. You will receive detailed feedback assessment directly to your inbox, guiding your skill development and areas of improvement. You can also showcase your new skills expertise by ordering digital certificates, which are perfect for demonstrating your competency to employers or clients.
You will also become part of a dynamic community of professionals, sharing knowledge and supporting each other on the path to success. And we empower you to step up as a leader, coach, by reselling any of our programs as your own and earn instant income while helping others grow in their careers.
Start your journey today at www.thegrowthacademy.co.uk.